one is dedicated to all the veterans out there. Everybody's off today. I mean tomorrow, but today if you're listening to the show, right? I'm not off. I'm working. No doubt.
I'm working.
Yeah, the veterans are all working out there. I guarantee it, right?
Yeah, we were all joking about it today.
Well, happy Veterans Day to all the vets out there. We're celebrating Friday for Saturday, I believe is the deal this year, right?
Yeah, I mean, don't you think at least the veterans should get the day off?
I think if you are a veteran, you should be given full day off. You should get the 3-day weekend no matter what you do for a living. Like if you're a president, let's say. Well, never mind. If you're president, like Biden.
That hasn't happened in decades.
Biden's been on vacation the entire time.
No, but I think if you're a veteran, man, come on. We should get one day where we get to enjoy a day off. You know?
I mean, the gays get a month.
That's what I'm saying. The blacks get a month. The gays get a month. Actually, the blacks get 2 months because one of them is for their businesses.
That's right, dude.
You know what I mean? I mean, Alzheimer's, multiple sclerosis. Everybody's got a fucking month. Can't the veterans get a day?
We give the veterans 1 day in November when it's freezing balls cold out and nobody has time to do anything or money because we're saving up for the holidays.
But the only people that get the day off are the people that had the luxury of not serving the military and they got desk jobs.
Right. Most of them work from home. That's how it... But you know what? It's the service of the veterans, the sacrifices that they made that have afforded these wonderful freedoms, right? That, you know, the work from home and the 4-day work week. I can't believe people want the 4-day work week, but they work from home.
No veteran ever fought and no soldier ever died for the right to work from home. that is a dark evil at society that the soldiers didn't bring upon us.
You're on the boat. It's D-Day, pouring rain, you're heading to the shore, all you hear is the gunfire in the distance and the explosions and the guy next to you, right? He turns to you and says, hey, you know what? Someday our kids are going to have 4-day work weeks and do remote.
If you live through this, the new normal's going to kill you in 80 years.
Oh, man, did you bring your mask? I got 2. Don't worry. Yeah!
Don't forget that gas mask. You gotta try this Fauci mask.
No. Did you double mask? Try this plastic thing. It's gonna be great. It was made by Asian kids. Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's such a joke. I can't believe we lived through that.
Well, it's one we have now, right? It's,
thanks, Frank. Thanks for always. You're a guy who never forgets the veterans. I like that.
I call you every year. This year, I'll still call you on Saturday. You know, I think it's worthy to thank those who made, in my opinion, what is an ultimate sacrifice. It doesn't matter if you actually, you know, fought in a war specific or died. You know, I mean, I think if you decided to, at a young age, make the choice to join the military and serve this country and make it a better place, you did so much better than all the assholes who went to the 4-year college for the communications degree and now are complaining that they can't pay the bill that they're owed or due and are begging the president to wipe away their debts, right? So, you know, I think maybe we owe more than 1 day. We should probably give a month to the military veterans, right? It's why we're here.
No, because they're real heroes, Frank. They don't even need the day.
No, they don't, and this is the truth, and they're out there working on the day of celebration. I work in a weed industry, and everybody's off tomorrow. I'm working because we're transporting the dope, but, you know, everybody else is getting the day off. They're going to enjoy their 3-day weekend a week before their 4-day weekend, 3 weeks before their next 4-day weekend for Christmas, right? Probably take the whole week off to stretch it through New Year's, you know?
I might as well. What are you going to get done during that time?
Everyone's wondering why aren't we making any money? How come nothing's being made here, right?
Dude, I do got to tell you, though, speaking of being a veteran, it was funny because today I worked with 2 guys. One I never met before, and the other one I had only worked with for like maybe an hour before.
Oh, yeah.
The one guy, mechanic in the Army National Guard, so we had the same MOS and everything.
Right.
And the other guy, I found out he was a Marine. And I hate to say it. I really hate to say it. I had worked with him before, met him a couple times. The minute I found out he was a Marine, you just like him so much more than you did before. No matter what you thought about him. And it was like the army guy. It was like, oh, you're the guy in the National Guard. Yeah, I was. And everything. It was like it's instantly like, I just like you. I like you more than everybody else. You know what I mean? And I don't know. I was just thinking about it when we were standing there, all just bullshitting, and I was like, man, never once in my life have I regretted joining the military.
Also,
I mean?
it's a signal to somebody else. If I am involved with somebody and I find out they are former military, it's reassuring almost, because now you know for a fact you're dealing with somebody with some sort of grounded foundation, and they are systematic, and they're probably organized and clean. And so, this is someone I could really get along with and work well with.
Absolutely. And let me tell you something. Just one day working with those two guys, give me 10,000. I'll build a fucking pyramid.
We'll build, callback, man. We'll build a pyramid. I mean? Yeah.
I don't care if they're Marines. I don't care if they're soldiers. But Marines are soldiers.
I don't know. If the internet has taught me anything over the last few days, all you need to build anything productive for poor people out there is one white dude and a camera and a YouTube channel. And he apparently can build thousands of water wells for, Africans who can't access water.
Oh, did you see that?
So this guy, Mr. Beast, I guess. I'm not, too savvy with his work, but I do understand that he's very popular on the YouTubes.
Frank, you don't know about Mr. Beast? He's like the most evil guy. Probably Hitler 2.0. His last crime before building 100 wells for poor people in Africa, his last crime before that was he went to Africa. It gave surgeries to people so they could see.
Wow, so he's helping black people, and white people seem to be very upset about this, I guess.
Real animal, this guy.
Yeah, that's right.
What Africa needs is somebody like Dr. Fauci who's going to go experiment on them.
Yeah, give him all these, pills and vaccines for diseases that haven't come out of the lab yet, right? And then
real heroic stuff. Heroics.
Right. Well, speaking of heroics, and kind of the military edge that we were discussing, you sent me this clip, and we're an audio program, so unfortunately it is virtually impossible for us to play this clip for you guys to understand. It was the newest Army commercial.
Yeah, did you like it?
I thoroughly loved it. It shows, and this is shocking for anyone who's sensitive out there, especially our woke fans. Just be careful with what I'm about to say. This entire commercial has white men. All white men. It's crazy.
Like men with penises, standing tall, chest out, like real white men.
And they're white. Like, all of them are white. Most of them. At
white.
least in this commercial, it's centered around one white soldier. It's very disturbing, I know, but they show these men with penises, actual men, and they're standing there, and they're gearing up, and then they jump out of an airplane. They're airborne fellas, something, Mike, I know you're very familiar with.
Oh,
and
gotta love the airborne, baby.
I thought the imagery was stunning. It showed the view from the soldier standing on the edge of the plane, and then he makes the leap, and he does the whole journey down, and what happens in the middle there? They tease it, right? They just kind of play a little soft piano beat. All that you can be.
That's what I loved about it. They took like your beat. They like literally they fucking listened to the dudeman, man. I swear. They did your fucking song.
A little piano, soft piano version, instrumental of the Be All You Can Be. And the kid lands, and he's thrilled with life, and he feels alive, and he's part of a team, and they're celebrating, and man, it made me want to join the Army, man.
Oh, it did great, but it was a totally bullshit end where the guy lands, he's laying on his parachute, looking up at the sky, smiling.
That's right.
And his buddy comes up and taps him on the shoulder. Come on, man, we gotta go. Listen, you lay down for more than a second, you're gonna have this towering figure over you with a bullhorn in your face. Did you enjoy that ride on Disneyland? You know what I mean? You got people shooting at you. Get your rock. Go. You know what I mean? They're just
absolutely
in your face.
Well, you got to train. You're training. However, I was thinking, though, you're in the boot camp or in the training, and you're part of this regiment, and it's very intense, and they're screaming in your face, and it's just they're gearing you up for battle. But that moment when you jump out of the plane and you got how many seconds or minutes where you're floating through the air. It must be incredible bliss to just be free from all the noise and anything, and you're just kind of, you're not actually in a combat scene, right? So you're just kind of floating through the air. When you're in that training camp scenario or whatever, that must be a really, fantastic experience. Those little moments when you're floating through the air.
I gotta tell you, dude, you're in an Air Force plane, so there's no insulation. It's so loud. You can't hear anything. Like, that's why you're yelling at each other with the commands and everything.
Oh, yeah.
And, dude, so everything is so loud and the fucking plane is shaking. They open that door. It's so windy. Can't hear anything. It's just everybody's yelling, go, go, go. You know what I mean? And then you jump out and that fucking wind hits you. And it's just so loud and powerful. And then you just hear, and that's your chute opening. And it's just dead silent. And then you hear your buddies laughing.
Oh, man. See, that actually sounds wonderful and really peaceful and enjoyable. I feel like those little slices, right, make it all kind of worth it, really. Or those are kind of those best little memories, probably. And that's kind of life, really. Life is a lot of trial and tribulation, and then you get these little slices of time, these moments of contentment and bliss, and sometimes, if you're lucky, true happiness. And but they're only slices,
Well, it's true happiness because I didn't know it's happiness until after it was long over. It's like when you look back on it, you realize how amazing it was. But in the moment, so much adrenaline was flowing. You know what I mean? And you had guys yelling at you from the ground. You landed. You had to put you had to put the chute in the rock, and you had to run.
Yeah, man.
And but then you'd go to the bar afterwards. Oh, it was good times.
It sounds awesome. Yeah. And the commercial really, if I were a younger fella, maybe it would have inspired me to take a different route with my life, simply because Bidenomics ain't working for nobody, folks. Let's be honest here.
Oh, that's the best recruitment tool the military has, Bidenomics.
Yeah, they should just go have Biden go onto the commercials and be like, they're going to vote me in 2024, Jack, and I'm bringing back Bidenomics Part 2. Be all that you can be.
You thought you couldn't afford bread? Wait till I get my second term.
Oh, man, we're going to be boiling the leather off our shoes if this guy gets a second term, dude. I'm telling you right now. Well, I'm glad men are in the, on the scene again. We're seeing men back in commercials now, and they're trying to recruit men and focus on men. Budweiser's going to go full on men with the UFC. It's all about the men, and it's kind of refreshing because they announced the sexiest man alive, Mike. And you know what?
We're going to start with people's sexiest man alive.
He's a man with a dick.
Last night, Jimmy Kimmel played 20 questions with his audience to reveal this year's hottest guy, and the 2023 honoree is...
Trust me.
Hi, I'm Keith. Are you Dr. McDreamy?
Yes.
They revealed McDreamy. Patrick Dempsey. Yeah, you remember McDreamy?
And there you have it.
Yeah. Patrick Dempsey, dude.
Spoken, not Alice People, but People Magazine. Patrick Dempsey, a.k.a. Dr. McDreamy.
Dr. McDreamy from Grey's Anatomy.
I never watched Grey's Anatomy, dude. God, I knew you were gay.
No, I don't think it's on anymore on TV. This is from like 20 years ago. And, I'm almost out of that closet. It's creeping open, no doubt. But, like half a shoe hanging. But I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah, I know this guy.
Look him up. You're going to love it because he's like 50-something, man.
Yeah, 57.
Okay, so here's my point. There's no Timothy Chalamet being the sexiest man alive. You don't have any of these boyish fellas being... We got a man. They did a man this time. This is very, he's an older man. He's just like a normal man. There's nothing like pansexual about him. You know what I'm saying?
57's a little old. That's the sexiest man, a 57-year-old?
That's my point. The women have spoken. There's no young dude who's a sexy man anymore because they're all chicks.
That's a hard to achieve that, to be old and have hair and look good.
Isn't that something? I know, I was admiring the fella. I thought you would really enjoy this one, actually. I didn't put it on the docket. I was thinking about it, and then I let it fly because I was like, we're talking men, and I feel like, but look at him. He looks like a man, actually. He's got the scruff and the hair, the salt and pepper hair, and like he's just a normal dude Look at Timothy Chalamet now.
Yeah,
just go
right.
take
yeah,
a look at Timothy Chalamet. He'll be the next sexiest man alive, I'm sure.
Or Sam Smith.
Yeah, exactly, dude.
God.
Or whatever Kim Petras is. I still haven't figured it out. It's blowing my mind.
What is that thing, dude? Jesus Christ. Every time that creature crawls out of its cave, it gets scarier and scarier looking.
Do they do the sexiest woman alive? Because I can only guarantee it'll be Dylan Mulvaney.
Oh, 2 years running. That's how long
you
he's
see
been
what
a
I'm
woman,
saying
right?
with this? The more, like, at first I was like, oh, who the fuck cares about sexiest man alive? This stuff is bullshit. But then I looked at it, I'm like, wait, the best they could do is a 50-year-old? Like, that means there's no men younger than 50 anymore. Like, there's no men in the younger generations.
Oh. So I guess the last sexiest woman of the world was Gal Gadot in 2017.
All right, I'll take it. She's a babe, right?
Yeah, Gal Gadot's really hot.
And she's not one of those Dylan Mulvaney chicks. She's got the real, women package going on there.
I think she's on the right side of this Jewish Hamas thing, if I'm not mistaken.
I think she's stayed quiet on this one, which is probably the right side.
I think it's inferred where Wonder Woman stands.
I think I'm gonna just stick with silence on my part. I've been trying to stay silent on the whole conflict, as you can tell. But yeah, sexiest man alive. I thought it was culturally interesting, just because culturally we seem to be missing a beat with the men out there. We're lacking in the recruits for the army. We're lacking in the men running the country, right? It just kind of seems like it's chick think all the time. And if you think I'm exaggerating in any way whatsoever, I found this from the other day. It kind of floated under the radar with everyone, and I thought you would have been very particularly interested in this move by the Biden administration.
The Senate confirmed a historic appointment by evading a Republican senator's block of military promotions. Admiral Lisa Franchetti is the new chief of naval operations and the first woman ever to be one of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. Her appointment was held up along with...
And so now we know why she was appointed, right? There you have it.
She's a female.
It's just a chick, dude. We checked some boxes,
man. By Senator Tommy Tuberville.
We're checking boxes.
As Nicole Killian reports, he's under growing pressure to lift his block.
Our nation and our national security is in jeopardy.
Tensions are rising among Republicans over Alabama Senator Tommy Tuberville's months-long hold on military promotions.
We are at a point where our country absolutely needs these officers in place.
Madam President.
On Wednesday night, the Alabama senator single-handedly blocked 61 separate nominees.
Object.
Fueling outrage among many of his Republican colleagues, notably some who have served themselves.
If we normalize this and every senator follows the lead of Senator Tuberville, you'll ruin the military.
That's right, man. Lady G, of course, dude.
No sign of backing down.
He's a veteran?
Yeah, I think he is. Wasn't he?
No.
Lady G, not a veteran?
Isn't that what she just said?
So, I don't know, was it, maybe they did a tricky cut there where they said including veterans, but then they go to Lindsey Graham speaking, but I thought Lindsey Graham did have some...
Okay.
All right, I love where this is going.
6.5 years as an Air Force lawyer.
Oh, so he served like DeSantis.
Yeah, well, even less so. He was in the Air Force and he was in Germany. Probably a lot of domestic violence cases and drunken disorderly.
That's right. Wasn't that what DeSantis did, though? He was a lawyer basically the whole time. Wasn't he JAG?
Yeah, but he fucking...
Did he fight? Was he, like, in Iraq?
He was in Guantanamo Bay.
Oh, so he tortured. But he was a torture artist.
everybody just does what they have to do for the country.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, well, that's right. I never served, so I don't judge. You know what I'm saying? I sit back and enjoy the freedoms. That's how it works.
You need me on that wall. Just remember, what's his name?
I'm going to go with Tom Hanks. No, wait.
No, A Few Good Men.
Jack Nicholson.
Jack Nicholson, yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah,
great movie.
Yeah, it is a great movie, man. And, back then you could get away with flicks where it's just people talking the whole time.
Good call, dude. That was literally filmed in one courtroom.
How much CGI did they need for A Few Good Men?
Dude, good call.
Right? How many CGI artists did they have to bring in to, touch up A Few Good Men? No, they probably just filmed the movie.
50-50, they might have faked the rain during that one scene.
Yeah, that's right. Not even though.
Maybe.
I swear, back then in the 90s, late 80s, man, they would just turn on the hose and spray you while you did the the shot.
Oh, that's what I mean. The fake the rain. That would be the extent of the
right. You turn on the rain hose. Yeah. So I'm telling you, man. We don't have movies where they're just talking all the time. And I was reading today, in the funniest of places, actually, CNBC. They had a little thing about how they are pre-expecting the epic bombing of the new Marvel's film that Disney is releasing. And they were shooting for something like 70 million, but now they're saying it's going to get way under 60 million. And they think it's just going to totally bomb. And they're trying to get people hyped up for it, but there's just no interest. Everybody's just done with Disney. And it was a funny, article to kind of parse through. And all I was thinking about is how much it's just nobody cares because it's all CGI and crap writing.
And terrible acting. Did you read in depth about the movie?
Give me a little rundown on the flick. I'm not too.
It's three leading ladies.
Yeah, that's right.
Right, and they were saying that they don't think it's going to do good because of a Marvel fatigue.
Yes, I saw that.
Although they did mention that the earlier in the year, the Avengers, a Marvel movie, made almost $1 billion.
That's right. I think it was Guardians of the Galaxy or
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, man. I don't know. I feel like they've all bombed this year. And the article I read, they delved into that black fella who was beating women and got fired from being the main villain.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And because of his whole domestic abuse thing, that made Ant-Man bomb, and then Ant-Man also sucked because it was woke, and then everything else is woke. The article I was going through though, I thought it was hilarious that they just refused to identify the main problem, which is you are forcing these box-checking characters and storylines to people who just want to watch the comics come to life.
Yeah.
And so you're beating this dead horse and nobody wants to come see it, so I guarantee nobody goes and sees the Marvels. It looks terrible. It's
so bad.
I saw a commercial the other night when I was watching the Nuggets last night, and I think they played the Marvel's commercial even during the game, in the corner of the screen. That's how they're trying to get people to go see this. And it was just all these flashing lights, and it was just strobing, and I had a seizure halfway through, and I'm just what is this, man? It's just CGI nonsense. I can't watch this crap. It's just, I don't know. That's where they've gone, and I'm happy that it's sunk so low. We were calling it for a while there. Eventually, it's going to turn back around. And we're going to get awesome comic book movies again.
I don't know. You think so?
No, I don't. I think we're stuck with the woke. No, they're not making any money. So did you see the breaking news today that the actors strike that we all forgot about?
Oh, wow. Yeah, totally forgot.
It's over.
I forgot that I read the news. Yeah.
That's right. I didn't care so much. I totally forgot I read it. And it's... So they're back. And I can only presume now are they gonna did they agree to do the CGI copying? Is that where we're going now, where everyone's just gonna be AI copied and we're just gonna never see real people on TV or movies again? It's gotta be.
I'm not really sure. It's the problem with all these strikes. I don't really know what you want.
Yeah, they just want, everyone's on strike.
Did you get what you want? Did they get what they wanted? I don't know.
Everybody wants more money and to work less time. That's everyone's demands.
Yeah.
It just seems like no employer can keep up with that, man. Absolutely crazy stuff. So I'm done with the first. What do you think of the first woman in the Joint Chiefs of Staff, my man?
I don't think it really matters because, like, they keep calling themselves the most historic administration. It's not historic if you just go out and line up a bunch of black women and then put them in positions, or I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, this one's not black. I think it's just a chick, white chick.
White chick?
So yeah,
is she straight?
I don't know. I'm guessing
Was
no.
she born a chick?
I don't know now. I'm guessing everything now these days. I mean, oh, that's a good call. It could be a dude who's a chick now, right?
Rachel Levine or whatever was the first admiral, female.
Right. Except this one has a penis. That's how it works.
Who fathered 3 children.
Yes. Oh man, I thought you'd be all fired up about the Joint Chiefs of Staff lady move, right? Did these guys do anything?
The Navy, who cares?
Oh, I see.
No, once you get that high up, what are you really doing? You're just,
You're just doing the photo ops, right?
Frank, I don't even know what our military's point. I don't even know what we're doing as a country anymore. It is we've gone so far. Biden came to Chicago today.
Really?
Was met with hundreds of pro-Palestinian protesters that were outside his whatever fucking chanting. I mean, what is going on here, guys?
It's amazing to me to watch this unfold because for a while now, I thought it was the Jews voting big time on the Democratic side. But now it definitely seems pretty clear that the Democrats are embracing the pro-Palestinian side. So that clashes a bit.
And we need to start using their phrases against them. Remember what they used to always say? Oh, Frank, I'm not saying every Trump voter is a racist, but every racist is a Trump voter.
Oh, powerful stuff. Incredible.
They love that line. So you know what, guys? I'm not saying every Democratic voter is a terrorist.
Wow.
But every Hamas-supporting terrorist in America is a Democratic voter.
Hey-oh, there it is.
Right?
Oh, I love reversing the words. That's why I call the chemtrailing that goes on here in Denver all the time man-made climate change. See what I did there, people? Do you see what I did there? It's very easy. Because it is. It's man-made climate change. That's what you're doing. All right? You just use their stupid words against them. See, we can all play this game of using stupid words, right?
I guess in Japan yesterday, this fucking island just came up out of the water.
Dude, I saw that actually. This is because the seas are, I believe the water's rising. Is that what happens when the water rises?
A volcano erupted and just like moved so much mass upwards that like now this island is just there. And all I could think is, oh yeah, we could control this climate.
I know. We got.
Oh yeah, this is a planet we can control. Yeah, just give Nancy Pelosi more money. I'm sure she can.
When it comes to Earth, we've got our hands on the steering wheel. All right. us fleas on this beast. We're controlling it, man.
Yeah, no.
We're holding the ears of this dog, and then we're making it move where we want. See?
Who else could save it better than the Democratic Party in America?
I love, the idea that we're gonna save the world. Like what? You're gonna be nothing to the world immediately after you're dead.
You are nothing.
The world won't care.
You are nothing. I mean, that was always my favorite thing to say is, there is a God that created the universe and everything, but he didn't create it for us. This is a garden. We're just the flea on one of the tomatoes.
Absolutely. Yeah, man.
That's it.
He created, maybe he created it for the tomato and we're just enjoying the ride. I like that. Yeah, that's kind of a good idea.
Yeah, you build the garden for the fruit,
Well, these climate activists have totally lost their frickin' minds. We've been seeing it all over the globe where they're gluing their hands to the pavement and throwing cans of tomato soup onto like Picasso paintings. You know, they're just doing all these wacky things. We've seen Greta Thunberg get carted off by police like 100 times this year in all these weird staged events. There was this situation in Panama. I sent you I
loved it.
Did you do a little digging into this fella?
It's fantastic.
This is a man. His name, say his name, people. Kenneth Darlington. Wow. What a story.
Talk about a darling.
Oh my God. You have explicitly talked about essentially feeling like doing what this fella just went out and did.
Okay, first of all, I love the story because this is the news in a nutshell here. The headline in the first opening paragraph, whatever his name is, I don't remember, but then they talk about, what's his name? Edward?
Kenneth. That's right.
Kenneth Darlington murdered 2 protesters, shot them in cold blood on the street as they were just trying to protest for Stop Oil, right?
Yes.
And from that, you think, oh, this guy's pretty barbaric. This guy must be an animal. He just got out of his car and shot 2 protesters?
Oh, yeah.
Then, like 9 paragraphs into the story, you find out this protest has been going on for 2 weeks where they're just shutting down major highways and roads, and it's cost them $80 million so far in lost revenue to local businesses and everything. And you're like, okay, well, maybe this guy's been stuck in 2 weeks of insane traffic because of you fucking morons.
Absolutely, and I don't condone the senseless violence that ensued. However, the video's out there. It's shocking. Did you see the video?
No, I didn't. Is it good?
Well, it's about what you would expect. It's him yelling at these guys to move the shit off the road. They refuse. An argument continues. He has enough, pulls his gun out, and shoots them right in front of everybody, and starts shooting at people. It's an insane-looking video.
Let me ask you a question here. When he pulled the gun out and started shooting, did they move off the road?
I think someone dragged their dead carcasses off the road. Somebody did eventually. Dude, and when they arrested him, it's in a bizarre video. I mean, he's very strangely calm while he's doing it, you know, for someone who's very mad.
You know, he's 77. Maybe he took a bullet for us. You know what I mean?
All
you old men who are kind of useless now, this is a good way to go out. Please, do us all a favor.
There's a still photograph out there, which is what drew my attention to the story. And it's him unloading one of the clips, and you can see the empty shell flying in the air in front of his face. And he has this just stone cold look on his face, like a man who has had enough. And I am done with this bullshit. And man, it's an intense photograph, and the video is shocking and disturbing. But I gotta say, man, we've talked about it. How much longer will this go on until someone pulls a trigger?
Well, here's what I really need to know about this man. He's 77 years old.
Yes.
He killed these 2 protesters. How many people has he killed in his 77 years? Because if it's just these 2 guys, I say give him a pass.
Well,
you know what I mean? Like, clearly, I don't know. You guys kind of deserve it. I'm sorry. You people are literally blocking these roads, and you hear the shit they all say on their little TikTok feeds. Oh, we know we're putting our lives at risk, and it's worth it for the planet. All right. Good. This guy called your bluff. We need more people to call their bluff.
Yes.
End their lives for them.
Well, so I think
we should be allowed to run them over.
Well, that was where I was going to go with it, actually. I believe if you're not following the traffic laws and you're in the road, you're free game to be roadkill. That's how it works. If you're in the road and my vehicle's moving and I hit you, that's your fault. You shouldn't be in the road.
That was my argument on Twitter with these people was, you glue your hand to the road. Now you're part of the road. I'm driving on you.
I'm driving through you and on you. There's no other way around this.
Listen, I've been watching the news for the past 3 years. I know what you're doing here. Okay, so I get it. You're identifying as a road. I'll drive over you.
I get your pronoun game here. All right, road, pavement, road /
Who am I
pavement.
to tell you you're not a road? You know?
Your pronouns now are road / kill. See how this game works? It's the silly game of words.
Dude, do you remember that game, Roadkill, on Sega?
Oh, yes. That was where you and another player on motorcycles, and as you're racing down the highway, you are able to score weapons like chains and batons, and you can beat the other rider off their motorcycle.
While you're racing, dude, that was awesome.
That was awesome, and that's pretty violent stuff for kids to be playing, right? Like, we're like out there racing and beating people, and could you get a gun in that one? I don't know if you could get a gun back then. Maybe you could.
I don't remember the gun. I remember you had, like, the bat.
You had the bat. Yeah.
The chain.
The chain was the best one because you could whip them if they were ahead of you, right? You like
Yeah, had the longest reach. Yeah, I don't think you had a gun.
Yeah, maybe not.
In Roadkill 2.
Maybe Roadkill 2. Yeah. I was thinking about this reminds me of, what was it? It was like on PlayStation, and you would Twisted Metal. Was it Twisted Metal?
Oh, what a great game!
Yeah, the clown. You had it was the clown guy with the
ice cream truck with
exactly.
the clown on top.
Yes, man. I read somewhere they may be making that into a movie.
How? You just drove around in circles shooting each other with rocket launchers.
I mean, did you see Mario Brothers? It was fantastic.
Yeah, actually, I think we just described the Marvels movie.
Actually, yeah, you're right. It's just going to be CGI. Nobody's going to know what's going on.
Swap out that arena for a multiverse, and we pretty much got the...
Can you do a movie where they're just talking anymore? I mean, what's the last movie where they just talk the whole flick? There's nothing, man. They can't do it. There is nothing.
Yeah, I don't know, like the last, like the last real, like, low budget movie.
I'm talking no action. What was the last movie with just no violence and action or gratuitous sex?
Good movie. Oh, with no tits? Man.
I think if you're gonna do a talk only flick, you got to bring in the tits, right? You need a tit scene, a really good tit scene.
I mean, it definitely ups the. Man, no, there's no
nothing.
Really good.
I know you got nothing. I'm telling you.
I'm trying to find it, dude.
No, there's no movies where they're just talking. There's no.
No, but everything you find is like, from like 2013.
And I'm also not talking about those avant-garde weirdo flicks from Cannes or stuff that nobody watches. I'm not gonna watch that crap.
No, that's what I mean, dude. They're here we go. 10 best low-budget movies of 2021.
Low budget. Probably comedies, mostly comedies, I imagine.
Old? That was such a shitty movie.
I
never even finished it.
Supposed to be a comedy, right?
No, that was the M. Night Shyamalan, where they go to the island and get old.
Oh, wow.
Such a stupid. I literally made it 5 minutes into that movie.
And I may retract my statement now a little bit. I mean, M. Night, he could potentially be one of the last guys putting out flicks, even though they stink. He's putting out movies where there's almost no CGI. And he does a lot of imaginative concepts and, trickery, right? Makes you think that it's one thing and then it's another.
That's
like
a good call.
Sixth Sense. Probably not a lot of, CGI going on in that action. And I guess, hold on. When did Sixth Sense come out? It was like 30 years ago. Now that
it's like 01, dude.
You know what happened is the cell phones fried our brains. We can't sit there and watch something if there isn't action or sex in it. And they need to put out stuff that's 3 hours long, so it's just got to be filled with action and sex.
Not even in this century. 1999, Frank.
Sixth Sense was 1999?
1990, a great year.
That, resurrected Bruce Willis's career there. It was a huge move for him.
It is crazy. Now he is a ghost.
Wow, he literally, yes, that's too close to the truth. And what's really weird, also, on top of it all, is have you seen Haley Joel Osment recently? The kid from Sixth Sense?
Is he still alive?
Yeah, he's like 300 pounds. He's like a stoner bro. No. Yes, dude. Yeah, he's like this big, fat, hairy stoner bro. Absolutely, man. He turned out being a lot more lovable than I imagined he would have.
Oh, yeah. No, actually, I really like him.
He's very approachable. He seems like a fun dude that you could like do a beer bong with, you know?
Oh, dude, me and him were in the same graduating class. Year, not actual school.
Oh, man, well... Either way,
me and him are the same age.
He seems like a party animal, and when it comes to party animals, welcome to the gig, or the show, if you will, Ohio.
Priscilla, let's touch on another issue here. It didn't get as much attention as abortion, but in Ohio, we have the legalization of recreational marijuana, the 24th state to do that. What's the significance of that?
Yeah, Joe, it's huge because this is a state that is considered conservative, red-leaning, that has voted to legalize marijuana with 57% of voters making...
Why do Democrats think Republicans don't smoke pot?
I know.
I actually think probably more conservative people grow pot than liberal people do.
Well, conservative people definitely can afford it more.
And they know how to make money off of something they produce. Yeah,
that's true.
Whereas, the Democrats just want free stimulus checks so they can go to the pot store and buy their weed, right?
Yeah.
That's how it works.
That choice and voting in favor of that. And again, it may be a lesson on messaging, because what the advocates for that said was that this is just like alcohol and we should regulate it and we should tax it.
This is not, they all keep talking about this. This is a problem with the Republican Party and messaging. It's messaging because people love abortion and marijuana. Dude, this is a sign that our society is collapsing. People are voting for politicians because they want to have abortions and smoke marijuana. We literally have raised a generation or two, probably closer to 2 whole generations now, that are just adult children who want to face no consequences to any of their actions. They want to do whatever drugs they want to do and have free sex and just kill the baby if they don't want it. You know what I mean? I hate the whole thing where, like, we can't just be, like, honest. Listen, I agree with abortion. I think you know what I mean? I've said it before. I'm all for the woman having the choice. At the same time, it's murdering a baby.
Right.
It is.
Yeah, no, I hear you. If you're going to do it, accept what you're doing. Don't try to,
sugarcoat it. It's just a clump of cells. It's just this. It's just, no, listen, you're murdering a baby. Listen, I got a girl pregnant. We had to murder that baby because there's no way we could have taken care of it. It's fine. But
that's what happens.
You say you're for abortion because you just like the death penalty, sometimes a murder is more beneficial for society. It's fine. Don't sugarcoat it.
Great call. And what are you saying with this pot legalization? Because, it's an interesting industry, and I personally, I love smoking weed, and I've always been a lover of the cannabis plant and having access to it. It's one of the main reasons I moved out to Colorado so long ago, and I'm a huge fan of people having the power over the 3-letter agencies who made these things illegal so they could, mess with our lives.
I agree with I hate the 3-letter agencies just as much as you do, but I also think we've run this experiment now for 20 years.
Going on about 10 plus years now, I think, as far as it being recreationally available to the masses.
Never before have we had more access to drugs, to alcohol, you know what I mean? To just do whatever you want to do, to be you, Frank, live your true you. Never before has there been more of an opportunity for that, and never before have we been less happy. I think there's just, I don't know
about you, man. I mean, I'm dipping into my Z cake times jungle cake sugary vanilla gas weed over here. I'm feeling happy as a clam. Yeah,
it's not good. It's not good. The weed's not good for you. The booze aren't good for you. I'm a guy sitting here who's stoned off my mind, drinking a beer.
Oh yeah.
It's really bad for you, and I don't know, bad for society. It's really bad for the message it sends to children. I mean, nowadays, dude, I'm in these schools, and these parents are dropping off their kids, and you're getting hit in the face with the smell of weed as the kid walks by. You know what I mean?
Because the parents are smoking it.
Yeah, I'm talking about little kids. You know what I mean? We've normalized it too much now. And it's not good to just walk around high all day. I don't care what anybody says with the microdosing and all that. It's not good. It's not good to walk around on pharmaceuticals all day either.
No, definitely not. And I think the pharmaceutical industry is not too keen on the mushroom thing happening. And I do think there's been pushback on the marijuana stuff from the pharmaceutical industry. I don't think they want people smoking the weed. Or they want to control the production of it and put toxins in it and make people sick with it, which is something I could see happening. Personally, for me, when I look at these industries taking hold, the worst part about it is the corporatization, and you get these outside corporations coming in, like from Canada, and they buy out everything, and they ruin the market. When weed was supposed to be, and it should be, if it's legalized, you get to start your own little mom and pop place because you're growing some nice plants in the backyard. That's what it's supposed to be. Now, and I've seen it unfold over the last 10 years, what really changed was the concentrate situation, where we started taking all this weed and concentrating it into these these doses where you're not just smoking a doobie that is like 18% THC. Now you're hitting this dab and you're blasting your brain with 98% THC. So you're just as comatose as the, Amy Schumer over there on her Ozempic. Zombified out, man. I don't do that. I don't get down with the concentrate game just because I noticed immediately whenever I would hit it, like, that is so strong, I am incapable of functioning on any level. And I'm an old school guy. I like to wake up, have my coffee, smoke a little sativa, get a little creative buzz going, play some guitar, or maybe edit the podcast. You know what I'm saying? Just get the juices flowing.
No, it's terrible for society. It's terrible to have a lot. If everybody was doing that, that's terrible. It's terrible.
I mean, I'm pretty productive. I get a lot done during the day. I'm not hurting nobody. All right.
I'd argue you'd get more done if you didn't smoke that sativa.
Fascinating concept. And all right, I'll go with it. So you're not down with Ohio welcoming in the cannabis game. Personally, I am all for it. I like it. I dig it. The more the merrier. I'm into the marijuana. I'm in. Listen, I'm for the grass.
I would be all for it if it would stop there. My problem is the slippery slope. And how far are we from just legalizing everything? And look at the places that have done that, where they decriminalized all drug use. It's insane.
Well, I mean, decriminalizing, that gets a little intense, because that kind of walks hand in hand with all the modern Democrat woke stuff where, I mean, not only do you end up decriminalizing the drugs, but then you end up doing the whole basically in and out of the prison because we don't want to hold you for 90 days, or if you run, we're not going to chase you because that's discriminatory, right? So you start getting in all these other areas where we're not just decriminalizing drug use, we're decriminalizing crime as a whole, right? That you go into Walmart and steal $12,000 or $100 worth of stuff. You know what I'm saying? We're not going to stop you.
Yeah. Slippery slope.
Slippery slope, and I love it. If you take a big rip before you go down that slope, it's a fun ride. You're going to just enjoy it. You'll be high, you'll be laughing. At the end of it, you'll have some munchies, order up a little DoorDash, get some Chinese food in you. You'll feel great. It'll be good times.
Hey, did you know Haley Joel Osment was Forrest Gump?
Yes, he was little Forrest Gump.
Yeah, I didn't know that. That's crazy.
I know. I feel bad for the guy. It means he was exposed to that creep Tom Hanks at a very young age. He was probably
he was raped.
definitely raped by Tom Hanks.
Yeah, his career, 2003, stopped making movies. He stopped fucking the adults.
Oh, Haley Joel or Tom Hanks?
Yeah. Oh, no, Tom Hanks never stopped.
Haley Joel, I think, went to college and got his degree and became a party animal and then came back to movies. I think that's what he did.
Oh, yeah?
I don't know. Hollywood seems so creepy, dude. I know. If you were a kid in it and then you maybe get exposed to the real world, you probably want to get the hell out of there. You remember Frankie Muniz? Frankie Muniz was on Malcolm in the Middle, and he was a huge star. He started getting into movies towards the end of the Malcolm in the Middle phase, and he dipped out and became a race car driver. And
but he's got serious issues right now.
Well, I think he suffered from brain problems, maybe on the line of having seizures and what have you. So he kind of dipped out of the acting. But again, kid, actor, then immediately beelines away from acting. Again, he probably just experienced something or saw something and said, "No thanks, I don't want to be a part of this satanic death cult." There's got to be some moment where you're on the cusp of unbelievable fame and you get invited to Tom Hanks' house and he takes you down to the dungeon to drink the blood of some kid, and you're just no, I don't want to be famous anymore, and you leave.
Nah, or he tries to drink your blood. Isn't that how that works?
I don't know. I've read some stuff about Illuminati shit where if you get into the group, there's this whole ritual where they do all sorts of sadomasochistic kind of activities to you to the point where you break mentally and you can't even take the pain anymore. And it doesn't sound that enjoyable. I'm not gonna lie. It sounds kind of shitty. But I think that might be part of the ritual. Didn't you see the clip going around of that gentleman describing what the Bushes had to go through to be part of the Skull and Bones?
No. Was it on X?
Formerly known as Twitter. Yeah, man, it was on X, dude. It was all over. It's an old clip. It's this guy being interviewed 20 years ago on Fox News or something, and you could tell because of the graininess of the video and all that, but he goes into this wild description about how both Bushes were ritualistically gangbanged by hundreds of men, and part of the whole thing with the Skull and Bones is you lay in a coffin and all these dudes masturbate on you and do all this weird creepy sexual stuff to you, and then you're in the Skull and Bones.
That can't be true.
It was all over the interwebs, man. I'm telling you. It was an old clip. That's what's weird about it. It's now if you see something of somebody talking about these fantastical stuff with devil worshipping, it's almost, it's commonplace. Everybody in the conspiracy world, all the tin foil hat nut jobs out there, we all know about this stuff. So you could easily kind of fake a video or go out there and scream about it. But if it's an old video, any of the old stuff of Alex Jones from the late 90s, where he's going into what they do at Bohemian Grove and all that nonsense, yeah, that was shocking then, and people just flat out didn't believe it. Now everyone believes all that nonsense. So to hear a guy
gangbang sounds kind of
I used gangbang to kind of encapsulate the whole scenario. I think there's various stuff going on there, weird, homosexual acts, and we talked about it before not too long ago about how when it came to Bohemian Grove, you could check the tapes. It's presidential files. Nixon literally talks about how gay these fellas were and how he just quite frankly wasn't into all the gay stuff, and he just dipped out.
I would explain the LGBTQ thing. Maybe they are just all gay, all the people at the top.
Yes, we just look at Biden's administration, man.
That is kind of crazy. How do you even find that many?
Well, first, you have to spike the water. you get the frogs in the beginning, and then later on it starts to hit the humans, right? And slowly, drip by drip, with all the chemicals that we put into the water stream, the people start to turn. And that's what you get.
Genius.
Mostly, I've always believed the LG BLT sandwich scenario has increased so heavily simply to support the World Economic Forum depopulation agenda. It plays perfectly into it. If you
it really does. Yeah.
Well, just get everybody not wanting to have sex and procreate.
Yeah, they're already saying that we're going to lose population at the end of, I think, 10 years or something? I forget what they said.
Like, you're saying American population will start to decrease in 10 years.
Yeah, more people will be dying than being born.
Wow. And
that's because everybody's getting married older, having kids older.
That's what they say, but we all know the truth. It's because 6.2 billion people took their boosters! Yeah!
Nobody took the boost. That's a good joke.
You gotta thin the herd one way or another. I still believe if you took at least 2, you're probably shortened that lifespan a little bit. The 3rd and 4th shots, though, they really wanted you to get those 3rd and 4th shots. The 5th one was just for shits and giggles, I can only imagine. Just the 5th shot, I think, was the 5th and 6th, right? We just did the 6th, I think, if I'm not mistaken. This last round, they attempted that only 1% of the population took. I think these last 2 were kind of like when they tried to see how many people they could get to double mask. Fauci's like, hey, let me put on the double mask when I talk to Rand Paul, and we'll see how many of the sheep are wearing it out there.
Where is him? I thought he was being indicted or whatever.
I believe it's coming. I probably would imagine they're waiting to get some sort of control on the Senate.
Nah, it's never coming.
It's never coming. No, I told you. We'll never get that Nuremberg 2 electric boogaloo that I've always been wanting and craving. Fauci will ride off into the sunset on his horse. There is no doubt about it.
Just
and
him and Martha,
and a wagon filled with beagle bodies that are just being eaten by bot flies. All right.
Such a disgusting human.
Yeah, no, I think he's going to get away with it only because, he's the highest paid bureaucrat in D.C. If money, it speaks volumes. It's like the point of power, right? If you're the highest paid politician, but you're not a politician, you're a weird doctor creep who experiments on dogs and gays and orphans. If you're that guy and you make the most money out of everyone, you're making more than the president, you're making more than all the senators. I mean, Nancy Pelosi and her kickbacks and side dealings that she's making in the market, like you're outpacing Nancy Pelosi financially. That means you must be the most powerful person in America.
Yeah, it really makes you wonder, huh?
The dude was able to dangle in front of everybody. Well, I've got these 10 undisclosed biolabs all over Ukraine that nobody, I could accidentally release a virus.
And they're going after Trump so hard for the RICO Act, conspiracy, and everything. What about the conspiracy of Dr. Fauci literally talking to the Chinese government and trying to help them cover up COVID and where it came from?
It's because if you take a magnifying glass and you put it on that classic COVID virus image that we've all seen everywhere, and you look really close in the corner, you see a little signature. It says Tony Fauci right there on each and every little virus guy there. A little Tony Fauci, signed by yours truly. It's his virus, man. He created it. It's his baby, so he needed to protect it and protect its owner, which was him. It's basically Frankenstein's monster, and he's Frankenstein.
Yeah, good call.
That's essentially what occurred, man. And his monster broke out of the lab, and he did everything he could to convince the mob with the tiki torches and with the pitchforks that the monster, it came out of that wet lab with the pangolin and the bat. You see, they were having sex, and here comes the virus.
This was more like Frankenstein's monster.
Oh, yeah!
It didn't actually kill anybody. It was too dumb.